Just about 30% of the artists who contact me via booking a call on the site want to enact this Rush Plan. This Rush Plan thing, getting your songs out in a weekly fashion, has not died down. This is all due to a lack of patience, to be factual with you. The problem is that artists are suffering from a lack of attention for their art, and they need this attention. And maybe this is why Russ did it. I agree. You got to make noise for some things sometimes. And we as content creators, we do the same thing. We got to make noise, so we got to put stuff out. But the one thing you can't do is you can't look at social media and see what everybody else is doing. And you got to realize you're looking at a highlight reel, because this feeds your anxiety. And ultimately, you will fail if you're just running off the anxiety to do this. So I just want you to pump your brakes for a second. We'll dig into this Rush Plan. We're going to make it make sense for 2023. And then you'll see how this thing can successfully unfold for you right here on the Music Money Makeover Show. Hey everybody, welcome back to the Music Money Makeover Show. My name is Casey Graham. And yes, you may be a little anxious. You might want to get your music out there and make some noise. I've been the same way. I've done it with the 60-day record label. And I got to tell you, it works. It does work. But I got to show you how this needs to unfold in order for you to have success with it in 2023. So let's hop right in. Okay, so I took a poll today. It's the February 6th. I took a poll and I said, do you still listen to and discover new music on SoundCloud? 23% said yes. 77% said no. And this survey is a key factor to what we're doing. I want to take a look at these comments. It's a shame, really. SoundCloud used to be great. Now it's a shell of its former self. All things evolve. Let me jump back into the slides. Now, let's take a look at SoundCloud versus Spotify. SoundCloud was founded in the US in 2007, 1 year before Spotify started issuing out free subscriptions to us by way of email links with 10 invites at a time in 2008. I remember because I was trying to get one. I was like, yo, what? Come on, man. Like, somebody got to have this link for me. It was kind of the same way they did with Clubhouse. Like, you had to know somebody that was already in there, and eventually you got invited in. That's how Spotify unrolled things to us in 2008. Now, SoundCloud, these two sentences are going to be key for the whole video. SoundCloud was socially based and Spotify was not. In fact, Spotify is still trying to become socially based. It's not really doing a great job of it. And Apple Music tried to do this as well. And they're not doing a good job of it. Okay? SoundCloud was the player of choice for bloggers, which gave it its utility. The utility word is going to be key in today's video. Now, Apple Music has tried so many times to make this work that it's not even funny, right? Spotify too, but they kind of just pulled back from it. The one thing that they didn't quite have that SoundCloud had was the ability for the user, which was the artist, to upload directly to the platform and use comments. They could use hashtags. They could put stuff in the description, just like a YouTube page. It was just basically YouTube for audio. Because it had that type of utility and it had a social network built in, you could share music very, very fast. And this was great back at the time when Russ started his thing in 2011. Now, picture this. Instagram was founded in 2010. So it wasn't even popping yet. Facebook was out. I think MySpace was definitely on its last leg at that point. And what else was popping? YouTube. YouTube was out. We had playlists on YouTube. It was cool, but it wasn't great. It wasn't really user friendly when it came to actually listening to music the way we wanted to. SoundCloud fulfilled that need, and they made it work for artists. You get what I'm saying? So now, the question is, when did he start? Well, Russ started in December 2011. He went all the way to August 2014 using SoundCloud. Of course, I'm quite sure he uploaded this stuff to Spotify eventually, but in the beginning, SoundCloud was our tool of choice. You got to understand, this is the end days of the blog era, and Russ squeezed the last bit of juice that the era had left in it. I think this was the last great thing or manipulation of that era that we saw. This guy right here from College Park, you know what I mean? ATL. So we saw this happen. Now, if you were anybody in that era, in that time, these were the people that you had to see. This is the new music cartel. Hoff, Mecca, Miss Info, SK, Low-Key, Mikey Fresh. I mean, so many countless others that were still good that weren't a part of the cartel. But during this era, these were the people that you had to go see. Now, they're going to make up our promoters. And SoundCloud is going to be our utility. So the question is, can the Rust plan work in today's day and age? Well, yes, but you need a player that can be social. SoundCloud is the player. We have YouTube. You can put your music out on YouTube. It's great. The problem is you got to be able to share it. YouTube is not a good network to share. Neither is Instagram. It's a good network to upload, but when it comes to sharing, it still hasn't cracked that code yet. And the one code that all they needed to do is what TikTok did, is they allow you to just share it directly from the video right into your feed. That allows something to go viral quicker than you can just say 1, 2, 3. This is what SoundCloud had. You could just put it right into your feed. I like that. Let me share that song to my followers. TikTok is going to be our go-to simply because we can share the music and people can make comments on it. And if we want to listen to the full thing, then we can go to YouTube or we can go to Spotify to get it. So yes, the Rust plan can work. You just have to find out what went missing and what you need to replace it with. Now, utility versus promoter. The utility is the ability to discover easily and share easily. That's TikTok, YouTube, and Instagram. Okay? Mainly TikTok and YouTube. Right? The promoter has to have the ability to blast to a big user base. And that's user-generated content. The user of the platform has to be able to blast you really, really fast. You get what I'm saying? So what do you need to do? Well, it goes back to what you hear a lot of creators saying. You document the production. You document the pre-release work. You release the work. You show and tell people it's out. You shoot a micro music video. For the best part, rinse and repeat. Well, you might say, well, Casey, that's a lot of work. Yes, but the results will be spectacular. Look, let's go back. We had SoundCloud. SoundCloud was all we needed to do. We needed to put it out. People would do their thing. But our player changed to TikTok. You see what I'm saying? When the player changed, it required a little bit more of you to make your stuff go viral for people to get this stuff heard. Okay? So when they start hearing it on TikTok, they need something to captivate them. They need to be captivated by the video and the audio at the same time. And then when they see that visual and the audio, it doesn't have to be anything great. It just needs to captivate them for a short amount of time. And if they really like it, they'll hit share. That's what we're banking on. Yes, it's a lot more work. You got to be creative to figure out what works for you and your production style and what you can stomach at the place that you are at so that you can keep releasing and keep releasing and keep releasing. I think TikTok's up to 10 minutes. Put the whole song on TikTok. Our whole goal is to get listeners, to get subscribers. If we can get people to listen, then we're in the game. You get what I'm saying? You can make playlists on TikTok if you didn't know. So do that. That's your new player. Go viral in that sense. When people hear the music, they're going to love it. And then from there, we can move on to our next step, which is actually getting the record company to actually grow. But you might also say this, why can't I just release the music every week? Who's going to pay attention? You see what I'm saying? If you go back, remember, if you put it on Spotify or a place like YouTube, you got to drive people to it. It's not just going to show up. You have to drive people to it to get those subscribers. The same thing works for Spotify. Spotify's only social situation is playlisting. But nobody's really going to playlist you from zero. You get what I'm saying? So we're back at TikTok again. Okay? So now, well, that's not the way Rust did it. Of course it's not. You'll find that people need to adapt. You'll find that you need to adapt to your new player. TikTok. You got two tools, TikTok and YouTube. So we got to build the structure of the record label before you even, commit to this. If you do 87 songs, none of this stuff is registered. You just throw it out there. You're going to miss the money that you actually need to reinvest back into the process. And the only way you're going to do that is if you collect it all. You get what I'm saying? So that's why you want to get this. This is going to build a foundation in 60 days for you. So by the time you do 87 songs worth of music that you're going to put out, well, we got the money now to reinvest and make more music. It's a cycle. It's cyclic. You have to do this, because if you don't, then we're losing at this point. Not only are we not already making money on the music, but then we're really losing the money that we could play with, the house money we could play with. And we don't want to lose that. We want to get the casino's money, play with that, and then we can start to make a profit on it. You get what I'm saying? Book a call with me below, because we got to strategize what you're going to do. You can't just drop 87 songs and then figure out, all right, well, you know, we dropped the 87. What do we do now? Because if we go back to points 1, 2, 3, and 4, you see that's a lot of work in between to get the music out. Like I said, the video has to be captivating. We got to talk about what that is. We got to document all of this work so that people become, because you want people to feel like they missed out. FOMO is real, and social media injects nitrous oxide into FOMO like it's nobody's business, because you want to feel like you're a part of that crew, like you were there, like you're the person that says, I heard about this first. You know what I mean? That's what social media makes you do. So we got to strategize about that. So book a call. At the end of the day, you're going to gain YouTube subscribers, Spotify subscribers. All followers are going to go up at this point. But most importantly, the user-generated content will start to rise, whether it be the dances, people just putting your song on their videos. You're going to get more influencers to come around and just do things naturally to your stuff. The word of mouth starts to happen, and it's like, yo, when the word of mouth happens, you in there. It did justice. We did what we supposed to do. But if you continue to release that music, no strategy, I'm just going to put it on Spotify and YouTube because Russ put it out on some type of sound player, it should work. People should find it, right? No, they're not going to find it, okay? I just gave you the secret. The secret was the player, it was the utility, and the promoter. It was the type of player it was, and it was the promoter. So we just injected that into TikTok, and now you have the recipe to enact it again. You get what I'm saying? That's how you make this thing work. Hopefully this gave you some justification to making that Russ plan work in 2023 and beyond, and this provided you clarity to make all this stuff happen. So you can become the next artist that we need to watch out for. All right? And I want to work with you on that. So with all that being said, if you make music, you should always make money. Visit musicmoneymakeover.com. Download the 60-day record label, book a call, and I'll see you next time. Peace.